is Charles Stewart.
And the Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams.
We are Church Without Walls.
And we are here today to give you information that you don't normally get at church.
We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12.
Call in with your comment or your questions, and we'll be glad to try and answer them for you. If we don't have the answer today, we will get it to you on a message.
Don't you dare miss it.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, this is Stan Schofield, and I'm inviting all of my KWK family and my family to watch Church Without Walls, 11 o'clock on Mondays, for the greatest and latest show around. Thank you.
I'm Cynthia Lee Shang, and you're watching Church Without Walls on New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and you are watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
This program does not reflect the views and opinions of the New Orleans Talk Network. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You are listening and you are watching Church Without Walls in the studios of the New Orleans Talk Network. We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12 Central Standard Time. We come to knock down all the walls that may stand in your way. You and I, we all have walls that stand in our way. We are the church. But we believe that God will move all things out of our way that stand in our way. But we also got to realize according to his riches and his glory. So we praying and hoping that the walls that stand in our way, that God will move them as long as we believe in him and respect him. And we come your way in the studios of the New Orleans Talk Network. We're at 7601 West Bank Expressway, Studio B. And a telephone number for those that like to get in on the conversation is 1-563-999-1808. And I'm your host, Charles Stewart, along with Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams. We're here every week. We kind of answer every question that you put before us, but if the Holy Spirit don't give us the answer when you ask us the question, Dr. Williams and I would promise you that we would have it for you next week. That's a promise that we would give you an answer. So much going on in our country, the news, you don't know where to start. And Dr. Williams, we chose for a topic today that is our senator, our United States senator, is they making a big mistake. Are they setting a standard for the whole world to look at it? And so much that we have to look at our young kids is who is above the law and who the law works for. And seems like to me the senator saying is that the law only works for the president. And let's look at this to say that the president of the United States, that we love him, and I'm any decent citizen, they would love whoever. The Bible says we must respect the law of the land. So everybody, decent citizen, they don't want the president to fail, whether you like him or not. You want him to succeed. You want him to govern the country. We may disagree with him on policy, but as a person and as a nation, we need to unite at all times. We need to fight and settle our difference. But I think the senator, they setting a real bad standard for our young kids because these kids these days, they're going to look at it and say, if the president can get away with that, okay, if the law said this way, so you're going to have attorneys going to start to argue cases different from the way it was in the past. In other words, from my understanding, many of y'all look at the case and y'all look at the evidence that the House sent over to the Senate, and some of the senators said that they agreed that the president is guilty, but it's not impeachable. So, if what he did, Dr. Williams, it appeared to me that he can say, for instance, say like a Joe Biden or anybody, Senator Warren, anyone that running for president, they can say, I'm going to fly to New Orleans from Washington, D.C., and I'm going down the campaign to send to me. He can shut the airport down saying, you can't go. He can take and shoot somebody, and they can say that's not impeachable. So anything he do, and I don't know how the law is interpreted. He said according to Amendment 1, he said that he can do anything that he pleases to do. And let me say this, Dr. Williams. I believe that you notice when they argue in cases, they arguing what the founders' father said. But Dr. Williams, I think that the Senate, I think the country as a whole, they should demand update up on the Constitution. My reason for saying that is, back in those days when they made those laws, put together a Constitution, people riding on a horse and a donkey. They wasn't. I mean, you got cars these days riding 100 miles an hour.
So let us look at the fact that when those laws were created, they were created for people's right. And what have happened over the years is that people take the laws out of context and they use it to their advantage. You have lawyers who think that they're so smart that they can actually change things. Those laws were put in place for a reason. There was a method for putting them in, a reason for putting them in. You have your method. But people who have wisdom and knowledge, and if we consider where that came from that tree that was in the midst of the garden. And if that came from that tree, that means that you can either reject something or receive it. And most of the attorneys, if they reject it today and they receive it tomorrow. So they use the law to their advantage and cause a disadvantage to other people. Now, the President of the United States have the highest office in the land. And those laws were meant to govern him just as well as they govern anybody else. But as we need to ask ourselves a question. Is the president using the law according to a dictatorship where everybody have to bow to whatever he sees? If that's the case, we shouldn't have laws.
Well, Dr. Williams, you're so right. And we have a call on line 1. Call on line 1.
Hi, how you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
I think Mr. Stewart, you're actually right about the changes to the Constitution. Because when the founders set up the impeachment process, at that time, we did not have direct election of senators. The direct election of senators is a 19th century change to the Constitution. So the founders assumed that because the senators were not going to be elected by popular vote, and the senators had a 6-year term, then they would be solid-minded. They would be a deliberative body that will look at facts not from a party perspective, but from the law. And there's no aspect of the Constitution that says because it's an election year, you can't remove a president. So we're operating under two different sets of rules. The way it was initially established, the states sent the senators to the Senate, and you were not elected by popular vote. So now with the polarization and the election by popular vote, that aspect of the Constitution is not being taken into consideration. So you're absolutely right. So it needs to be modernized because, as you can see, on a 41, 49 to 51 vote, your grandchildren and my grandchildren will probably live under a dictatorship. And most people are not aware of the consequences of that vote. What you literally said is that the President of the United States has the divine right of a king. What he says is law. He is the state, and the state is him.
Do you think that the president should be using the law as a dictatorship rather than as president of a free people in the United States? Did you hear me, Carla?
Yes.
Did you hear me, Carla?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Do you think that the president should be using the law as a dictatorship rather than righteousness of a free people in the United States?
Hello?
Yes.
Are you here? Did you hear my question?
No, I didn't hear your question. Can you repeat it?
Yes. Do you think that the president should use the law as a dictatorship rather than as a free people in the United States where the law governs everybody?
No. What I'm saying is that the vote on Friday established the criteria for a dictatorship because they gave the president absolute power on that 51-49 vote not to bring witnesses before the Senate. They said that the president is above the law. And once you do that, you see what happened in Rome when they did that, and you see what happened in Germany when they did that you have the formation of a dictator.
Right, I agree. But the way I see some of the things that the president does is basically on a dictatorship rather than following the law that governs his country. Doesn't mean that I'm absolutely right. It's just a question.
I think the senator from I think where he from Tennessee,
Lamar
uh,
Alexander.
Lamar Alexander. I think that he said it in the best. I guess if you read what he's saying, he said that Lamar Alexander. He said that the president was wrong by what he did. He didn't think it was impeachable. But to me, I interpret it saying the president can shoot somebody, kill somebody. If that's impeachable, I mean, he can do anything he wants. And it's not, it's, in other words, he don't have to bow by the law the way Lamar Alexander, the way he said. I mean, I really don't understand how you know that you said if you went before a jury in court and you tell the judge that we think he's guilty, but we don't think he should go to jail. So in that case, that guy that I can't think his name, the drug lord out of Mexico that's in jail now, that all them laws that he did, he can say that I did wrong, but I shouldn't be sentenced for that because of some
Yeah,
technicality in the law.
I think you're absolutely right. Just like Bill Clinton redefined sex, and for the last generation and a half, the way we define sex is the way President Bill Clinton redefined it. So he redefined sex. So now that opens up a whole window for future generations to say uh, that sex is only when a man and a woman, penetrate. So with Bill Clinton, when he redefined the sexual acts, as President of the United States, he set a whole new standard. Whereas the kids today don't consider oral copulation a sex. And that's predicated on Bill Clinton redefining the sexual act as President of the United States. So an act for the president that's wrong, or an act by the president that's wrong, set a whole new national standard. And the situation with President Trump for Lamar Alexander and Marco Rubio to say that he did the quid pro quo and it was in his best interest, and they think it's in the country's best interest that he not be removed, is setting a whole new standard for our people to the end justifies the means. And that is what the Nuremberg trials was about. Does the end and does the good justify the means? The Nuremberg trials were those trials in Germany when the generals and the people that enabled Adolf Hitler went along with what he was doing because they thought it was in the best interest of Germany. It was wrong, but they thought it was in the best interest of Germany. So we just codified and destroyed the Nuremberg concept.
But Carter, what got me though, I'm still dumbfounded over Alan Dushywood's his statement was saying the president did this, but he did it because it was in the best interest of his voters. He was trying to protect them. I mean, that's something that stunned me that he said that yeah, the president did that, but it was best. It was in the best interest of the people that support him, and he should do that. I mean, I just can't believe that he said that.
Well, if you actually
As I said earlier, you saw on Friday the protocols put in place for America to be controlled by a single man, a dictator, because the Senate advocated his responsibility, because they just polarized and partisan, and the Constitution never anticipated a polarization in the Senate like you see today. It's like a cult. Anything the leader does is fine because he's the leader.
if you become a proponent of that, then you're just as guilty as the person who's doing it. Do you agree? If you become a proponent of that, you're just as guilty as the person that's doing it.
I agree. That's what the Nuremberg trials established, that you're culpable. Wrong is wrong. What they did on Friday is that they made wrong right and right wrong. When I was in school, I read a book called Animal House. And the key to it is that you make right wrong, wrong right, down up, up down, and you just make it so whatever the leader says is right, everybody goes along with it. So, as I said, we saw the seeds of the destruction of the republic that we live in today, and probably our grandchildren will probably live under a dictator. And the sad thing about it is that most of the American public is not paying attention. You have upwards of 100 million people watched the Super Bowl game, and roughly about 20 million people have watched the impeachment trial. So that tells you what people's priorities are.
Well, you look at the fact that the president is actually to a point where he's doing whatever he feels he can do. He's acting as a businessman, and as a
He's
businessman,
acting as a dictator.
a, what a person who owns a business is actually becomes a dictator because he project
And the
whatever it is
president is
that he
acting as a
wants.
dictator.
Yeah. He project whatever he wants to happen in that business, and people have to follow it or lose their job.
And
So
Article 1 doesn't say, Mr. Stewart, that the president can do what he wants to do. And Donald Trump is wrong in that aspect. Article 2 says that the president is in charge with doing what's best for the country. Article 1, I'm sorry. And Article 2 says that Congress is charged with having a check on the president when he is not doing things that are in the best interest of the country, just to paraphrase Article 1 and 2. But 1 says the president is charged with administrating the laws of the United States, and he's the commander-in-chief. And Article 2 says that the Congress is responsible for making sure that the president doesn't go AWOL or the president doesn't become a king. So the Senate on Friday destroyed Article 2 of the Constitution because no Congress will be able to put a check on the president after that vote on Friday. Enjoy talking with you guys. You have a great day.
Okay, thank you, caller. We're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to continue to talk about is the president a dictator, and do the people in the United States, do they even care if he's a dictator or not? You are listening and you are watching Church Without Walls in the studios of the New Orleans Talk Network. We'll be back.
Yo, Mob, kick it for me one time.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
Yep, yep.
This is Charles Stewart.
and the Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams.
We are Church Without Walls.
And we are here today to give you information that you don't normally get at church.
We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12.
Call in with your comment or your questions, and we'll be glad to try and answer them for you. If we don't have the answer today, we will get it to you on a message.
Don't you dare miss it.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
This program does not reflect the views and opinions of the New Orleans Talk Network. Viewer discretion is advised.
What is the world coming to? Seems like everyone is running from the truth.
We are back. You are listening, watching Church Without Walls. Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams and Charles Stewart. We come your way every Monday, 11 to 12. We tell your friend to download the app, www. New Orleans Talk Network. We also on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. We invite you not only to listen, and you also can watch us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So we so happy to come your way every Monday morning talking about the walls that stand in our way. And today, our discussion, we were talking about the senators who gave the president the absolute power to be a dictator. And something that I think that he enjoys saying, he said Article 2 give him complete power to do anything that he wants to do. And Dr. Williams, I think he really believes that because he repeat that a lot, and he actually said a year ago, I think maybe 2 years ago, he said, I can do anything I want to do. He said, my people are always going to be with me. He said, I can go out in the street and shoot somebody. They still going to be with me, no care what I do.
Well, he's saying the president have to realize that he's not president of some of the people. He's president of all of the people. And if you're president of all of the people, you can't be saying, my people, the people that voted to put me in office, I'm going to make sure that they get what they want. What about the rest of the people? What about the opinion of the others? What about the opinions of the lower class? You know,
But Dr. William, let's break it down. Oftentimes, it says like the citizen, the caller said earlier, the people in the United States, you may have had, I think they got in the United States, I think they got over 300 something million people in the United States. They think maybe 20% of those people may be actually paying attention to the hearing that they had. Now, most of the people that are watching that hearing, most of them probably, I would say, 90% of them probably Republican and Democrat. They actually pay attention to that. You call the political junkies, they're gonna pay attention to that. But what about the rest of the country?
Charles,
Do they really care?
Think about. I can tell you. I relate that to some church meetings that I've been in. When you've got a lot of people coming out to a church meeting and asking questions, then what they do is they find a situation or allow a situation to exist where confusion starts within that church meeting. And then a lot of people will say, I'm not going because I don't feel like I want to be bothered with all of that mess. So now you got 10 or 15 people coming to a church meeting, and whatever they want to pass, they're able to get it passed because the majority of the church is not there. Well, you got that situation existing right now where people are looking at the broadcast and what's happening on TV, and they say, I'm sick of that. I don't want to hear all of that no more. I'm just sick of that same thing. Whether they're saying I'm sick of what Trump is saying or I'm sick of what the news media is saying. So they turn it off so they don't hear all of the facts. Right. Now, you're going into something blind. You don't know. And then when you get ready to go vote, you're voting not on your opinion, but the opinion of someone else.
Right.
See, so that's where you got the Senate. The Senate is supposed to be composed of both houses. And the people that are in there are supposed to be making a righteous choice. Okay, but when they negate from what the law says it should be and use somebody's wisdom and somebody's knowledge to defer that and to change that and to say, we've been living by this for all of these years, okay, but we're not going to change. We're going to change this right now. We're not going to do it. So they changed the law. You're not giving the president complete power. He says he has complete power, but you're not giving him complete power. You're giving him complete power as being the president of the United States to either veto. That means that either you agree with something or you disagree with something. But if you just let him use that law to say that I have complete power, I can do whatever I want to do, say whatever I want to say, then you might as well go as far as to say let him discriminate.
Yeah, but Rev, here what I fully don't understand here. The people in the United States, and this me saying this, it's not the radio station, even you saying this, Dr. Williams, Mr. Charles Stewart saying this, that I do not understand the people that vote, they vote against their own interests. That's something I just can't comprehend. I don't understand that. You take like most of the people that vote for said people that are Trump supporters. The most his supporters, his policy really don't help them and work against them. And they love the ground he walk on. And it could be on the Democrat side too. It got a lot of people that vote for a Democratic candidate but his interests do not do it don't help them. Their policy don't even comprehend them, but they love him for whatever sound
Let
right.
me ask you a question, Stuart. Okay, you got Democrats and you got Republicans, right?
Right.
Okay, just because a person is a Democrat, should they get your vote because you're a Democrat?
No.
Just because a person is a Republican, should they get your vote just because you're a Republican?
Right.
But you want to put the best person in there that's qualified to work with the community, and work with the states, work with the town to do the best job that they can. We've gotten to a point where we just, if I'm a Democrat, then I'm going to vote Democrat. If I'm a Republican, then I'm going to vote Republican.
Right.
But you're putting people in there that don't have your best interests at hand.
No. And the people that actually would help them, they work against them. Oftentimes people ask me, say, man, I listen to you, say you sound like you're a Republican. And I said, why do I sound like I'm a Republican? And simply a statement was made, Dr. Williams. They were talking about, said President Trump going to cut the food stamp. And I said, I don't believe we're going to cut no food stamp. I said, Republicans being in office, they always say they're going to cut food stamp. I said, but I think Republicans realize that they have more Republicans on food stamp than they do Democrats. And a lot of people don't understand that. But actually, if you would check it, they have way more Republicans on food stamp than they have more Republican on food stamp than Democrat, but a lot of people say so. When you make them statements like I was telling somebody the other day, I said, well, they asked me how do I feel about food stamp, Dr. Williams. I'm telling them that I wish that they would reorganize the food stamp program, and they want to know why. I said, because when I go in a grocery store, regardless what it may be, if you're going Walmart, if you're going Piggly Wiggly, Budget Saver, any of those stores you go into, you'll see an older lady been working all her life,
can't get food stamp.
70, 80 years old. If they get food stamp, they give them $40 and $50. Most they might give them $75, $80 food stamp, but yet and still you see some young lady, 20-something years old, and they give her $800 worth, $600 food stamp. Now, how in the hell is that fair? So, and that's when I get to be a Republican. When if that's a Republican policy, but actually that's just a sound bite they use to tell their own people you need to vote for me, And it sounds good, Dr. Williams. And then I'm a Democrat. Somebody said, well, you against Democrat. I'm against Democrat because I think most Democrats, they don't respect African-American voters. They just get our vote. You don't get nothing for it. And that's just my personal opinion. I think that Democrat, they don't worry, when it comes down to African-American, they don't worry about how we going to vote. They worry about if we going to vote, because they know if we go into the booth, they looking for that D. They going to vote Democrat. Don't care who it is, what they stand for. They going to always vote for that Democrat. So their job is to get you to the poll. Now, they know how you going to vote. And that's why, that my view is different. Like, I tell people I'm an independent. Most people say I'm a Republican, and some say I'm a Democrat, but I'm not either one. I'm an independent voter. Dr. William, when a Democrat is right, I feel they're going to do the right thing for the community. I am with them. When a Republican, if they're going to do something for our community, going to help improve the quality of life of people, I'm with them. So I'm with whoever best for our community.
Well, but what I tell you, what the way I do it is I'll look and see what a person has done, whether they did it as a Democrat or a Republican. I'm looking at what they have done. What was their function in the community? And that's going to determine who I'm going to vote for. Because I'm going to always try to put the best person in office that will do the job that we need to have done in our community or in our society. And I think that everybody should be focused upon that kind of wisdom. Do your due diligence. Do your due diligence.
Find out. We're going to have to take our last break on the day. We're going to take another break. You are listening to Church Without Walls. You want to get in the last few minutes? 563-999-1808. You are watching and listening to Church Without Walls.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
This is Charles Stewart.
And the Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams.
We are Church Without Walls.
And we are here today to give you information that you don't normally get at church.
We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12.
Call in with your comment or your questions, and we'll be glad to try and answer them for you. If we don't have the answer today, we will get it to you on a message.
Don't you dare miss it.
New year, new show. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I'm coming back at you with the new year of Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. And this year, we're moving to Monday night with brand new exciting guests and engaging literary conversation. And we want our listening audience to be there with us because this is going to be a year you will not forget. Catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m., right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. And you can also reach us on the Meet the World Image Solutions Facebook page, the Meet the World Image Solutions YouTube page, and we're on Podbean, iTunes, and Google Play. So catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. See you there.
This program does not reflect the views and opinions of the New Orleans Talk Network. Viewer discretion is advised.
We are back. You are listening and watching Church Without Walls, Dr. William and Charles Stewart. We've been talking about the decision that the Senate made as we speak right now. They having a debate now. To me, I think it's just a waste of time. I mean, everyone have said pretty much, how they going to vote. They're going to be 51 to 49. Actually, I think it's like 52 to 48. I think that lady, she only voting that way because she know that they don't have a vote. She looking out for re-election. So I think that's the only reason why she on the side. And the thing of it is, Dr. Williams, what's setting up, I don't think that they really understand. A lot of those old guys that been there for years, they I guess they got a lifestyle they don't want to give up. And they scared if they do the right thing that they'll be voted out. And that's something, Dr. William, I ain't never been afraid, I thank God Almighty. Afraid to speak up for what I think is wrong and what I think is right. I don't worry about no job. I figure, like I say, if I'm depending on if I don't go along with the president, he gonna put somebody in race against me. I ain't no coward like that, Rev. I mean, put somebody in there. If I'm done my job, my constituents ought to want to reelect me. If they don't, I go do something else. God gonna have something better for me. And for years, you know what get me? Those senators, I thought the Republican Party for years, they ran on a platform of value, that they had value for years. That's what the Republicans run on. They said the Democrat didn't have value, family value. The Republican Party was, they were very religiously, and they had integrity, and they did a thing right for family. Like they was against abortion. I mean, if a person wasn't righteous, they was against him. And one thing I never forget, I was in a hotel room with Reverend Al Sharpton, and he was telling me, it was funny, Rev. He said, Brother Stewart, he said, I understand the Republicans that they're against abortions, but yet and still, he said, I can go along with them being against abortion, but he said, I can go, they want to starve me to death. They want to keep me alive, but they don't want me.
That's people that when you use the law for your own personal vernacular, that's saying that this. It's like when they talk about abortion. Well, what's the difference between abortion and using a condom?
Yeah.
You're aborting something before it even get an opportunity to grow. That cell is already alive.
Yeah.
When that cell gets in that woman, it's got to swim up that uterus to find that egg and implant itself in there. So if you're not giving it a chance to get in there, that's the first thing you're doing is you're aborting it before it even have a chance to get started.
Yep.
But people don't look at stuff in reality. They look at it in a moral sense. You know, a moral sense, however you want to put it. When you look at a situation, you got to look at the realistically of what you're talking about. And we don't promote stuff realistically. We promote stuff fantasizing it.
Right.
You know, you got to look at it just like a gill net. A fisherman uses a gill net when he goes trawling and fishing. Anything that gets in that net is not going to come out. So anything that's in that net gonna drown. Mm-hmm. So that's the same thing as an abortion. You're killing the thing, and when you abort a child, you're killing it. Now scientists say, if it's more than I think 6 weeks, then you can't do it.
Okay.
You know. So I mean, if you can't do it then, you can't do it in the beginning of it starting to come into creation. You can't do that.
Yeah.
If it's a sin, it's a sin.
Yep.
And when you look at sex, people have all kind of moral sense about sex. To be an adulteress, that means that you're having sex without marriage. To be a fornicator is sex before marriage.
Yep.
So the one way you can look at it is that if you're going to be an adulteress or whatever you're going to be, it's a burning desire to be with somebody, so you can be an adulterer against alcohol and cigarette because you got a burning desire to have it.
Yep.
So what's the difference?
Yeah, but we don't see that really, Rev. We see, I think Pastor Jones preached a sermon a few weeks ago about I want what I want. I want it, and you don't care what it takes to get it, as long as you get what you want. And so that's the way the American people live, Rev, and I think that it's unfortunate that that's the way it is. I mean, people died years ago. It's a shame that when you really look at a lot of our young people, and not so much our young people, some of the older people too, how much they don't care when you realize what a lot the older people, your grandparents have went through with and all the discrimination they had to fight. I mean, it's incredible, that our young people don't care and the people don't care. And everybody, as long as they get what they want, they don't care about nothing else. And that's the world that we live in. And I get things what make me afraid, Dr. William, is the young people that come along these days, they already radical and they don't have that don't care attitude. They don't mind dying for whatever they believe in. They don't care, and for the Congress, seem like to me they would be more sensitive to these young kids coming along. They setting a standard that they don't want to follow the law. So these young kids have in their mind, well, if they don't follow the law, I ain't following
Well,
the law.
based upon what you're saying, Dr. Stewart, look at it this way. The United States is in a position right now where you have somebody in authority who's the commander in chief, and irregardless to how this turns out, it's going to affect the United States.
Yeah.
Irregardless of how it turns out, because some of the foreign allies are going to look at the fact of, why would they put such a person in control? I don't know all of the things that President Trump does. I don't know his intention, and I try not to. Punish a person for what they do because everybody has an opinion of what they. Sometimes you feel you're right, and you know you're not right, but you still try to conduct yourself. And once you've done something, you're committed to it, so you're gonna continue to do it.
Yeah,
think
that's what the danger about him though is. Sometimes I look at him saying, I say he really don't mean that, and a lot of times they used to say he don't know no better. Nah, here's one thing that I had to laugh yesterday, and we want to congratulate the Kansas City Chiefs for being the Super Bowl champ, and President Trump, Dr. Williams, he called them up and congratulated them for winning the Super Bowl. And he always get by with some of everything I never seen. No man, much less the president, could get by with what he get with. But anyway, his comment was, he said, congratulate to the Kansas City Chief for being the Super Bowl champ, and I want to congratulate them and the whole state of Kansas City. And then Kansas City is a city, and it's Kansas City, Missouri. But he said the great state of, you know what I mean? He just he don't care. He don't think. He say anything, get by with it. And that's almost every day. I mean, I'm not a great reader, great speller, but I mean, I do try to correct something I do, but every day he misspell a word or misquote a word. And it's like it's nothing, and he's president of the United States, but it tripped me out when he said to the great state of Kansas City. He didn't realize Kansas City is just a city. Like New Orleans is a city, you know. It's almost like him saying to the great state of New Orleans. You know, it's New Orleans, Louisiana, so he should have said to the great state of Kansas City, Missouri. He said to the great people, Kansas City and the great state of Kansas City. So, you know, he get by with so much, Rev, I don't understand.
Oh, yeah, as always, you know that it's ready for our last.
But Rev, our hour is first spent. And Doc, we got to wrap that up, and we want to thank congratulate everybody. I know it's been a rough week on some people. And last week we talked about the great Kobe Bryant, and mostly this week they was having tribute to him and his daughter, and also the other 7 people that got killed along with his daughter, and it was a tragic accident that happened, And as we said last week, God have his way of allowing things to happen to get our attention. And the whole world and the whole country, regardless you play football or whatever sport you play, for whatever reason, Kobe Bryant, soccer, hockey, golf, all walks of life, even the rappers, everybody loves it, Kobe Bryant. And at the end of the day, Rev, you hear so many people say at funerals, said, we love him, but God loved him better. He brought him home, him and his daughter. So we praying for the whole nine family that God will comfort them in their time of need. And congratulations to everybody. We see that the New Orleans Pelicans, we see that they #1 draft pick. He back on the coast, and I think that seems like to me. We pray that he would stay healthy, avoiding any type of long-term injury. I think he may be a Hall of Fame player. I seen something happen yesterday that you don't see that often, Rev Williams. I seen a pass from one end of the floor. I think it's like about an 80 feet pass from half court, and he dunked the ball. You'll see you'll see that lob from around the keeper. I never seen it from one end of the floor to the other one. And he jumped up in one motion over two guys and dunked the ball. So I think that we pray for him and the Pelican that he would stay healthy and he would have a long, successful career. And to everyone out there, we thank Dr. William and we thank y'all so much for listening and watching. And we pray that God will supply your every need. And Dr. William remind me, according to his riches and glory, not according to yours. So, Dr. William?
Well, I'd like to say to everybody out there that get some rest. God have a recipe for rest. So get some rest and tell somebody you love them. And remember, there's no such thing as being half dead.
If you're dead, you're dead. We love y'all so much. See y'all next week.